As my signals indicate, gentlemen, each player will play his two assigned notes. Here we go, and feel this rhythm, which I'll demonstrate now. One, two, three, four. Ready? How many chords are we making?
Two.
Two. That's right, two.
Two.
Right. We're making two different chords, and with these chords, as I said earlier, we will be able to play half a dozen pieces before our class time runs out tonight. I'll play the melody on the piano and assist with the rhythms. Orchestra ready? Here we go.
The next week, the men are assigned to the Advanced Music Makers session to complete their musical orientation. After this, attendance is on a voluntary basis. A few of the men sign up for individual music lessons, and some eventually join the beginner's orchestra, which here is assisted by a few experienced players.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And good evening, everybody. My name is Bill, and you are watching Bill's Box of Sound. Good evening. It's once again 10 p.m. on a Saturday evening here in the Eastern Time Zone, as every Saturday night, pretty much without fail, you'll see me yakking about music and yakking about records and us getting together and having a little bit of fun. So, hey, that's cool. So, good to see you all, as always. Already in the room, or better yet, in the chat room. I know that there's 8 of you at this moment, probably more to join later. But we got Barry. Good to see you. What's up? I'm one of us. John Fradley. Good to see you as always. And Nate Bouchard. Happy to see you. Happy, happy, happy. So, what's going on this week? Another hot week. 80s, 90s all week, except for the last 2 days. We finally went down to the 70s. Very cool. Hey, North Carolina vinyl picker. Hey, Kevin. Good to see you, sir. Very interesting records this week. A lot of these records, which I have not even cleaned or listened to yet, but I'll be telling you all about those later on, because I went to a garage sale today. As I believe that I told you folks last week I was going to do that. But anyway, one very notable passing in the past week. We lost the wonderful Tom Lehrer. Hold on a second. I'm going to move on my microphone. Okay, hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. Just adjusting the microphone here so I can hear you, you can hear me, or you can hear me, whatever. Anyways, before I talk about Tom Lehrer passing away, come on, it's Saturday night. I got to get my drink on. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. I'll move it a little closer to the microphone here. That's the microphone. There's the drink. And here's the illustrious product of the Coca-Cola Company. Oh, yeah. ASMR in effect. No alcohol in here today. Just because I don't feel like it. There you go. Oh, nice, nice, nice. So how's everybody feeling? Has anybody out there gotten their copy of One Size Fits All yet? The new one, that is. All right. I'm waiting to get mine. I ordered mine, hasn't shown up yet. It's supposed to come tomorrow morning. Oh, hello there, Beer and Vinyl. New to the chat room. Good to see you. It's on Iced Cold DC. Works just fine. Yes. Very nice. I did, however, enjoy a nice little cold beer earlier today after I mowed the lawn. So there. Anyway, where are we going with this? Oh yeah. Okay, so it's been released. If you pre-ordered online, you either have this or it's being shipped to you, which is the One Size Fits All. This is a copy that came out in what, 2010, I think. Man, the typeface of this is just so freaking tiny. 2015. Okay, 10 years ago, this was remastered. But anyway, the new one's coming. The one record version on Galaxy Blue, and then the other one, the two record version, I think, is on a glitter type of thing, or maybe I've got those switched up. But anyway, Barry, you've got the original, but it's warped. Well, time to buy a new one, sir. Anyway, so next week I will have the new one, and I'll talk a bit about that. But mine is supposed to arrive tomorrow morning, so we'll see what happens. In the meantime, this week I received some VCLT, which, if you know, it stands for Vinyl Community Love Train. I received the Love Train all the way from, I believe it was somewhere in Michigan. Mr. Michael Christensen, who I have one of his albums, and I don't know if he doesn't have a copy of my album. I'll have to send him a copy of my album in trade. So, I did a similar deal with Mr. Michael P. Dawson. Good to see his video yesterday. Good old VC Friday. Always nice to check him out. Oh. And speaking of that, if he shows up in the room, I'm going to pull out a record that is in relation to his show from yesterday. Let me just pull it out, make sure I've got it. Let's see. HB. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Okay. Right next to another A&M record. Okay. So if Michael shows up, Michael P., if you're out there, make yourself known. All right. And we've also got, let's see who we got here. In addition to Beer and Vinyl, Memphis Lonnie. Good to see you as always. Coop Tiggs. All right, whoever that is, good to see you. And there is Michael P. Dawson. Okay, I was just talking about your VC Friday, and you were talking about the Straubs, all those wonderful Straubs records. And personally, I do not have any Straubs records. Straub's albums never really happened to strike my fancy for some reason. But back when this album came out, I heard a song on the radio that blew me away and I had to get it. Now, I'm wondering if this is the same people from the Straubs, Hudson and Ford, which is basically Richard Hudson and John Ford. Also aided and abetted by Chris Perrin on keyboards, Ken Laws on drums and percussion, Dick Morrissey on sax, Tom Elam, who produced the album, on organ, and Johnny Mealing on string and brass and bass arrangements. String and bass arrangements, usually string and brass, but yes, they are the Straubs guys. There is a great song at the beginning of side one. It's the title cut. It's called "Did Worlds Collide." It's a very rocking song, and I picked this up way back then, which was 1975. I picked this up when I was still in high school. So okay, very cool. I'm glad that I got to show that to you. Anyway, so we were talking about the passing of the wonderful Tom Lehrer, humorist, teacher, lecturer, and he made music for a short time, and then sometime in the 60s, he kind of quit the music business, and he went into teaching, and he taught for the rest of his life. And just last month, he not last month, just this past week, he passed away. He was in his mid 90s, and the most recent picture that I saw of him still had him coloring his hair nice and dark, but still, the gift that he gave to the world. And if you're an ancient Dr. Demento Dr. Demento radio listener, you've no doubt heard a number of his songs. These kids these days, they don't know who these guys are, but Tom Lehrer, I've got two of his albums. I've got Songs by Tom Lehrer, which is actually a re-recording of songs that he put out in 1952 and 1953. And I've also got That Was the Year That Was, which was put out in, I believe, 1966. No, I'm sorry. This was put out in 1966. This was put out in 1965. And yeah, recorded July 65 at the Hungry Eye in San Francisco. He had put these out on his own independently, and these were re-recorded and released on the Warner Brothers label. Actually, the Reprise label. It's got the ancient label that looks like this. There we go. And these are very entertaining songs. We've got the National Brotherhood Week, the MLF Lullaby, Smut, Send the Marines, Pollution, So Long Mom, a song for World War III, New Math, Werner von Braun and the Vatican Rag on this one. And on this one, it says his lyrics, his music, his so-called voice, and his piano. But, and this has great songs like I Want to Go Back to Dixie, The Old Dope Peddler, The Wild West, Labacheski. Stefan Ivanovich Labacheski is his name. The Hunting Song, the Wiener Schnitzel Waltz, and I Hold Your Hand in Mine. Great stuff. Tom Lehrer records, I've always haven't been able to find them. They're hard to come across because I want to get the ones that have the Elements song, Poisoning Pigeons in the Park, and what was the other one that I was thinking of? The Masochism Tango. Hilarious, funny songs. Tom Lehrer wherever you are, the world's gonna miss you, bud. Even though you stopped making music a very long time ago, uh, your contributions to this planet have not gone unnoticed. All right. Anyway, back to the VCLT I was talking about. And Kevin says he is the inventor of the Jello shot. Let me put the new chats up on the screen. And Kevin says, I believe it. The year came out as a studio release and a live recording simultaneously. Pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, Nate says that Hudson and Ford right here look like a yacht rock duo. Yeah, they look like they could be a fake Steely Dan. But have you seen the yacht rock documentary? If you watch it, you'll find out that the term yacht rock was dreamed up by a comedy troupe who just lumped all of these, kind of funky jazz rock, smooth genre songs and named it yacht rock on their own. And in this documentary, they talk about Steely Dan a lot because a lot of the people that played on Steely Dan's records went on to make records that are touted as yacht rock. And near the end of the documentary, they make a phone call to Donald Fagen of Steely Dan. And he says, yeah, we're making a documentary about yacht rock and we want to talk to you about it. He says, oh, yeah? You want to know what I think about yacht rock? And he says, you can go fuck yourselves. And he hangs up the phone. So yacht rock is a made up term. It was never specifically manufactured as a genre of music. So that's that. Anyway, pull it way, way, way back to the beginning of the show. And I was talking about some VCLT from Michael Christensen. He emailed me and said, dude, you have this record? Because I know you like this album. And I said, well, no, I don't. And the record that he was talking about, let me pull out my copy here. My well-worn copy, which I believe belonged to a bar or something. It says Blind Owl here. This is the album Caravanserai by Santana. This is their fourth album, I believe. Yeah, because there was Santana, there was Abraxas, there was the Santana 3, which was also titled just Santana, and then there was this one. And this one is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. And yeah, I agree, Lonnie. I don't think of Steely Dan as yacht rock either. I just think of it as great music with some very, very, very cool lyrics that always have a little something extra in the meaning. But anyway, Michael and I have a similar interest in quadraphonic records, especially the early ones, because the quadraphonic records not only were mixed in quad, but they had a different sound to them altogether. So he sent me his extra copy of Caravanserai by Santana in quad. And it's cool. It's very, very, very cool. I love this album. It's closer to jazz or almost ambient music, but man, this record, you lay back, you enjoy this music. It's fantastic. So that is that. Few weeks ago, I showed you, actually was it last week or the week before? I showed you some records that I got from an estate sale. And one of the records that I picked up was this, The Best of Curved Air. Ooh, The Best of Curved Air. A greatest hits album? I don't know. It's kind of like a sampler of Curved Air. And it's got some selections from their Warner Brothers albums, like Air Conditioning and Phantasmagoria, and the second album, and also the album Air Cut, which I have here. This is a fantastic album. This is the one album that Eddie Jobson, who later went on to be a part of the prog band UK. He was with Roxy Music on at least one album. He played with Frank Zappa on the Zappa in New York sessions. He was all over the place for a while. He also had some other prog rock super group that he had put together apart from UK, but he also had an album called Zinc. But this album has a very long track on it called Metamorphosis, which is absolutely wonderful. Oh, I love it. And I found out that the master tapes of that album, Air Cut, have been lost. Any version of this album that you find on CD is cut from a needle drop of one of these albums. So I was thinking, well, this album has Metamorphosis on it as well as The Purple Speed Queen. And I was thinking, maybe they got a hold of some of the tapes and made a better sounding copy. But all right, quick question here. John wants to know, didn't WMMS and M105 broadcast in quad? Well, there was a time when they would have some of their programming in a matrixed quad format. Basically, if you take any stereo program and put it through a SQ or QS decoder, you'll get fake quad. So they said that their broadcasting was in quad. It kind of was, but it kind of wasn't because everything wasn't available in quad. But you could take any stereo programming, put it through an SQ decoder or a QS decoder, and you would get a kind of simulated quadraphonic experience. So that's my explanation of that. Anyway, so back to this thing. So I'm listening to this album, and I listen to side two, Melinda More or Less, beautiful ballad. And then we've got the song Cheetah, which is a great little instrumental with Daryl Way on violin. And let's see here. That's near the end of a side on, I believe, the Phantasmagoria album. And the song Vivaldi is on side one. And on the original album that Cheetah was on, there's a track called Ultra Vivaldi, which is all synthesizer, and it ends at the side and it goes into the lock groove, and this goes on forever. I showed it on my video about lock grooves. So, I see Cheetah, but there's no Ultra Vivaldi at the end. But I'm listening to this, and all of a sudden, I'm hearing Ultra Vivaldi. Wait a second, how did that get in there? And it goes and it plays, and at the end, the droning synthesizer goes on, and then all of a sudden, the droning synthesizer stops, and you hear the beginning of the piano of Metamorphosis. What the hell? So I'm listening to it, and it's okay. It's got a little bit of surface noise. But then it goes into the middle section where there's a long piano with synthesizer background, and eventually Sonia Christina starts singing something in it. But I'm listening to this in my headphones, and it sounds like they're taking the volume down and down and making the piano quieter and quieter and quieter, and it's going farther and farther away. And I'm thinking, what is this going to fade out completely? It seems as though they lowered the volume of the track in that middle section so much so they could squeeze this little 3-minute section into a very small groove on the record side. And then when they went to the loud part at the end, brought it right back up, and it was loud in your ears. They played around with this song when they mastered it on this record. It's an embarrassment to the band Curved Air. So if you see this, unless you really want to hear the same crap I heard, I would strongly recommend not picking up this record. So there you go. Now, okay, now we're going back into the quadraphonic argument again. Lonnie says, I was always told you can't have a true quad LP because you'd need a 4-sided needle to play it on. Very funny. Very funny. Anyway. So, and North Carolina Vinyl Picker needs a copy of Airborne. Yes, I don't have that one either. All right, so last week I told you that I was going to go to a record sale today, kind of a garage sale. A year ago, there was a garage sale. You're being serious? No such thing as a 4-sided needle. And the only real quadraphonic records were the CD4 records, which reproduced 4 channels the same way that a single radio signal produces stereo sound. Okay? Someday I'll explain that in more detail. So, a year ago, I went to a garage sale, and there were thousands of records at this garage sale. It was all from one person. Apparently, they had put their entire record collection into storage, and there was a flood. Most of the records got damaged, but they got all the records out. They dried them out. They tried to put all of them, pull them apart, and they said, unless there's a price on it already, all the albums are $1 a piece. So I went, and it was a huge collection, lots of great records. And as a matter of fact, I think I've got a bunch of them over here. I'm going to pull them out from a year ago. These are some of the ones that that were so messed up that I had to throw away the covers. So we've got Rahsaan Roland Kirk, The Case of the 3-Sided Dream in Audio Color, 2-record set. Elton John's self-titled album. Scorpions, Virgin Killer. John Mayall's Blues Breakers, A Hard Road. This is a find. Albert King, Live Wire, Blues Power. Getting closer to completing my Billy Cobham collection, Total Eclipse from 1979. Also, speaking of Billy Cobham and Mahavishnu, Jan Hammer, The First 7 Days from 1975. So that's just a very small selection of the records. And I even got, and the cover was intact on this, the Sun Ra Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra Volume 1 on ESP disc, an original. It was in great shape. I only paid $35 for it because I've seen that go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So anyway, back on for that sale, I got a lot of cool records. There was even a couple of Herbie Hancocks I was missing. There was a Weather Report Sweet Nighter. But the same guys who did that sale said, we're doing a part 2, but this is just records that we're getting rid of from our collections. All records $1 unless labeled, but they were all in good shape. So I went and picked some of them up. Okay, let's go back to the quadraphonic discussion for a moment here. Lonnie says, I was told that you could have a quad mix on reel-to-reel tape, but I'm obviously not too educated on this. Well, yeah, because you could have a 4-channel reel-to-reel machine. Very simple. I mean, multi-track tape machines have 16 tracks, 24 tracks on them. And there was the good old TAC 3340 that had four channels on it. But anyway, vinyl rundown. Good to see you here, sir. Says quad needles pick up supersonic frequency carrier to modulate the additional 2 channels. That's what I was kind of getting at. So there. Mowgli says Polar Nights on Virgin Killer is pretty heavy. Very correct. Okay, back to today's sale. So I went and I picked up a few things. Nothing earth-shattering, but some interesting stuff just the same. So I believe I got like 10 or 11 records. So some of them, the covers are beat up. I haven't cleaned up any of these. I haven't listened to them, but we're going to take a look at them right now. We've got Winds of Change by Eric Burdon and the Animals. And it's a gatefold. Very nice. It's got San Franciscan Nights. And somebody wrote down the timings for each of the songs here. And let's see here. It's packaged like a 2-record set. Maybe this is just a split seam. But here is the record. Oh, they've got an Electra sleeve. But it is the original Winds of Change by Eric Burdon and the Animals. Very nice. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'll be able to clean this up. Give it a spin. Let's see here. Next up, a Various Artists album, which oh geez. Now I'm mad at myself for picking this up. Volume 2, The History of Rhythm and Blues, The Golden Years, 1953 to 1955, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's got, let's see, Money Honey by the Drifters, featuring Clyde McPhatter, Shaboom by the Chords, Shake, Rattle, and Roll by Joe Turner, Jam Up by Tommy Ridgely, Tweedledee by Laverne Baker, I Got a Woman by Ray Charles, Blue Velvet by the Clovers, Close Your Eyes by the Five Keys, Adorable by the Drifters, and Greenbacks by Ray Charles. And it's on the old Atlantic label before they went to their current one. But I just noticed something really horrible. It is electronically enhanced for stereo. I'd rather have it in mono rather than have it electronically enhanced for stereo because those usually sound like dog do. Oh well, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll hit the mono button on my amplifier. Yeah. Reprocessed for stereo. Next, we've got an actual monophonic record. Peter, Paul, and Mary, In the Wind. This is on the old Warner Brothers label, even though it's got a Atlantic sleeve on it. And there's your Vitaphonic high fidelity label. Very nice. And this looks like it's well, this is well loved, I'll say that much. But the scratches appear not to be deep enough to affect play. So we'll find out about that. Taking a gamble on all these records. Okay. Let's get that in there. Next up, we've got Lou Rawls, Too Much. Now, there used to be a time where I wouldn't be caught dead with a Lou Rawls record, but good friend of mine, Johnny Johnson, once said, hey, if you're out and about and you find yourself staring at a Lou Rawls record, pick it up for me. I love his stuff. So I started picking it up, and I even transferred a few of them to a CD for him. And this is a nice little stereo, and ooh, this is in semi good shape. This looks like this was well partied, but listening to the records to transfer it for Johnny, I started liking Lou Rawls' music. This guy is all right. Okay. I'll save that one. Here we go. Head East, Flat as a Pancake. And this has the song Never Been Any Reason. And let's see. I've got another album of theirs where it has the song Get Up and Enjoy Yourself. Both and several songs of theirs were featured in a movie that was put together by Peter Bergman and Phil Proctor of the Firesign Theater called J-Men Forever, where they put the movie together mostly from clips of old Saturday afternoon serials from the 40s or the 30s, 40s actually, maybe the 50s. And they wrote a new storyline and dubbed in all the characters. The plot line was that rock and roll actually is an evil force that's going to take over the world. And it's being masterminded by a guy who calls himself the Lightning Bug. And Head East was one of the bands that they used to play the rock and roll that would ruin the world. And this is in pretty good shape. Let's take a look at the vinyl. Let's see if this has little scratches all over it. Ooh, no. This is in much better shape. Cool. I can't wait to get this one cleaned up and see how it is. Let's see. DJ Trish, hello. Good to see you. It says it's a work night, so I can't stay, but just wanted to do a quick swing by to say hello. Have a great week, you too, Trish. Peace, love, and music. That's what everybody should experience. Peace, love, and music. And Lonnie says the first 5 Head East albums are actually great Midwest rock. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Let's see. All right. A couple other things. Let's pull out. This is a Bruce Springsteen album that I didn't already have. And there's a couple of good tunes on it. It's Dullness on the Edge of Town, or should we say Darkness on the Edge of Town. The thing with Bruce Springsteen is his first 3 albums are absolute masterpieces. We're talking about Greetings from Asbury Park, The Wild, the Innocent, and E Street Shuffle, and Born to Run. After that, in my opinion, I know there's plenty of other people who have vastly much more passionate and different opinions than I have. But after Born to Run, Bruce started to go off. But hey, the rest of the world fell in love with Bruce Springsteen. So hey, guy's doing well. He's making money. But this ain't bad. This ain't bad. All right, couple more to go here. I've always wanted a copy of this in my collection. So, got Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Let's see what kind of shape this is in. Let's see if this got through any bar fights. Oh, ho, ho, whoa. It's in a nice sleeve. It's on a Columbia 2i stereo. There are a few little scratches on here, but it doesn't look like anything that would seriously disturb the playing of it. So, yeah, very excited about getting this. And it looks like he cleaned it up as well. So, this is going to be worth picking it up. Let me put that away. All right. Got 4 more records to show. Hey, Charlie Anderson, what's up? Let's see, Mowgli also says, I think Never Been Any Reason is on Dazed and Confused movie soundtrack. Oh, okay. All right. An album I've always wanted to pick up, the Elton John soundtrack recording to the movie Friends. I showed this to my wife and she says, oh, you mean there was a movie called Friends? Because she's big on the TV series Friends. But yeah, this looks like it's in pretty good shape. Let's take a look at it. Well, it's got a couple of fingerprints, couple little tiny little hairline scratches. Well, we'll clean it up, see how it turns out. Not a problem. All right. Now we're going to get into the interesting records. Each record is going to be more interesting than the next. All right. First, we've got the Turtles, Happy Together. I've got several Turtles albums, but I don't have this one. And as Zappa fans will know, both Howard Kaylan and Mark Volman of the Turtles, once this band broke up, they went to the Mothers. But I just happen to like their albums quite a bit. Let's see in how bad of a condition this record is. Actually, this one is probably in better shape than most of the ones that I just opened up. I don't see any hairline scratches anywhere on this. Very nice. So check that out. So cool. Very happy to come closer to completing my Turtles collection. Now, the next record is very important for Flo and Eddie. Okay, Mark Volman and Howard Kaylan are also Flo and Eddie. Okay, Michael knows. Now, if you know a lot about Mark and Howard, in later years, after they put out a bunch of Flo and Eddie records, they were employed by a company called Kid Stuff. And they were contracted to put out records for the Care Bears. Yes. This is the second album that I have found, which is the Care Bears, and it's all music. And it says here, take a look. All songs written and performed by Mark Volman and Howard Kaylan. Yes. And this stuff, I haven't listened to this yet, but I'm going to venture to guess that these vocals are sped up and they're just sickeningly sweet songs. I forget the book that I read. I believe it was the book that Tom Brown wrote, where he talked about working with Flo and Eddie while they were doing these Kid Stuff Care Bear records. And these guys were stoned 90% of the time that they were working on this stuff. So just for the sake of having it and hearing what these guys would do for a buck, I picked it up. Flo and Eddie doing children's music. Now, the last record, and maybe the least, you never know. Mowgli says he's a regular guy. I'm a regular guy. All right. Those of you who were here at the very, very beginning of the live stream tonight heard a little bit of this record. I saw this for a buck, and I said, "Oh, I cannot leave this record alone. I have to take it home with me." Skid Row Sounds, Stories and Songs, put out by the Salvation Army of Cleveland, Ohio, and Harbor Light Audio. I listened, well, you heard the end of side one of this album where some of the gentlemen who are Skid Row, let's say wayward men, are playing music. But the earlier part of side one is interviews with guys in Skid Row. Men who are admitted drunks, and they talk about what lengths they will go to get themselves some alcohol of any sort, no matter how horrible it is tasting. They just want to get their drink on. And it's sad, but it's just weird. But I mean, it's good that these men have tried to find salvation. I've known lots of people in my life that have had very serious drinking problems. As one of my best friends put it, yeah, I drank a lot. I've had my share, and I've also drank your share. So this is interesting stuff. It's kind of like an audio documentary, music and talk from the men that populate Skid Row. And I played some of it at the very beginning of this show, and I also played along with the little sound gizmo for your enjoyment. Very bizarre. Yeah, this combo has a real beat, says Gary Moore, star of radio, stage, and TV. Eric Ball, an international musician, says better than some professional groups. And Jack Hicks, host of WKYC TV's Panorama, says fine music by a good combo. Ooh, just weirdness. I love it. So those are the records that I picked up today. Also, a few weeks ago, I played one of my songs that I recorded as a Spudlock, but it is not included on the Spudlock album. And here, just to help you out, let's see, I'll find a copy here. I know I got one. I got several. Well, anyway, the Spudlock records have left the building. Anyway, I played a Spudlock song to begin one of my live streams, and I got a copyright strike on it, saying it was a Smiths song. So really, never heard that the Smiths song in question. So I went and sought the song out and streamed it and listened to it, and it's like, no. So I am fighting this copyright strike. So we'll see what happens. The last time that I got a copyright strike was when I was playing synthesizer and I was improvising, and it said that I was stealing a song by the Chemical Brothers. No, it was me. I composed what I played and I made it up on the spot. So there. Whew. All right. So now this shirt, check it out. Tripp and Underwood and Mann. And I'm going to open this up. Lonnie's not allowed to answer this question, but who were these people? What do they all have in common? Won't take you long. Come on. What did all three of these people do? Tripp, Underwood, and Mann. What did they do? And if you don't know, here's a hint. I got another shirt that says Black and Dunbar and Humphrey and Thompson and Bozio and Caliuta and Wackerman. Does that help? Nobody's typing. Very funny, Kevin. Very funny. Okay. Well, if you're a Zappa fan, you will know that all these guys were drummers for Frank Zappa. And the only one that I think that should be on here that's not is Dave Logeman. He played drums on the album You Are What You Is. And some people also said that Billy Mundy, who I believe played on parts of the Uncle Meat album, belongs in this list as well. But these are all Zappa drummers. And Jim Gordon, oh yeah, he played on Apostrophe and a couple of other songs, but he was not a regular member of the Mothers, I don't think. But very, very good point, Michael. So yeah, these are all predominantly the main drummers that Zappa used. Now, who are these folks? These are percussionists. All right. Arthur Dyer Tripp III, Ruth Underwood, and Ed Mann were the three main percussion players in Frank Zappa's bands. Let's see here. Well, come on. Okay, Pleasure Den of the Absurd. Come on. What else do you tune in for? Have you ever watched Grown Man Record Night? He talks about his records. Anyway, I talk about all sorts of records. Come on, you're used to this stuff. Besides, when I stop by the Pleasure Den of the Absurd, I want to find out what's in your world. So come into my world, see how it is. Anyway, yes, Lonnie, Ruth does do liner notes on the new One Size Fits All reissue. Anyway, what else is I going to say? We're running out of time here. So, I very much hope to get the new One Size Fits All tomorrow. And I hope that all of you have a fantastic week. I'm going to flip over the record and play some more music from the guys from Skid Row on this very bizarre record here from Harbor Light Audio. It doesn't have any sort of a copyright thing on it. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to play Home on the Range to get us on here. And let's see here. Ooh, okay. Wait a second. We've got Science of Tomorrow. Hi there. Can we have a cleaning record video soon? Have you looked at any of my videos, Science of Tomorrow? Check out my channel, and I've got a whole playlist of record cleaning videos throughout the years. I made one late last year as well, but you know, I don't know if you want to have a record cleaning live stream. That'd be kind of difficult to watch. Anyway, Kevin says, have you ever heard Jesus Blood Never Failed Me Yet by Gavin Bryars featuring Tom Waits? It uses Skid Row recordings. Well, yes, I do have it. It's part of Brian Eno's ambient series. Very cool. And let's see here. So, Bill, do you or YouTube designate your 1 hour time limit? I designate the 1 hour time limit. I don't want to go over an hour. And by the way, I mentioned Grown Man Record Night. He might be streaming a little later on this evening. Mowgli says Tight Bond 2. Oh, don't get me started on the wood glue method. So, all right, folks, let's listen to Home on the Range from these guys, and I'm gonna let you all go. So, until next week, stay tuned for your local news, except on the West Coast. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Be nice to each other. Quest for the truth. Make your life a quest for the truth. The truth will set you free. And hopefully the truth will bring down the bad people in this world. So that's it. We're going to get moving. And I'll pull out that Gavin Bryars record as well, Kevin. I'll show it to you because I know I got it. So let's take a look. Track number 2, Home on the Range. All right, here it comes. Good night, folks. Thanks for stopping by.
Changing instruments, the combo plays Home on the Range.
All right. boys and girls.
This actual